I hit up even Trump's son, one of the advisors. Like, we went direct to guys. Like, it wasn't just we posted on social media. Fucking sent messages directly to their asses because I wasn't playing.
Yep.
So time's up.
Well,
and Christina said no negotiation.
Fuck negotiating. We already did past that. That's what all them treaties they violated was negotiation. So we didn't already pass that stage. They violated every single treaty they can't be negotiated with.
Yeah, but they kept trying to keep going with the Build Back Better spending. That shit didn't pass. I was adamant as they would keep going in the news with their bullshit. Spiritually, I was sending that shit right back. Nope, you're not passing. You're not going to continue this fucking government and pretend y'all out of business. You shot yourself in the fucking foot. We just waiting for our people to wake up, rise up.
Mm-hmm. I know this.
You want your shit back? It's ready.
Now look, I'm not vindictive, right? But I will fuck a motherfucker up about my family. I don't have no problem with that. And I'll tell you how far I need to go in order to take care of the family. Now it's the whole goddamn family in distress. Ain't no one motherfucker gonna come in and keep me from, I guess, too many of us. I can't, if the weight on my shoulders, I can't buckle. Right?
Like, she had the luxury of being comfortable or maybe not seeing it. But when I walk out my door and I drive around my city and I look at people that look like me and we all suffering, and I'm like one fucking flea away from being on the street like them, fuck that side, and we're bringing everybody up, not the one that's sitting high on the hog.
You know, especially when they misleading and cheating the people and trying to get me to sell out. Now that's the part that pissed me off. How the fuck you gonna try to get me to sell out? You almost didn't know I'm the most tested motherfucker in the history of the world. Every motherfucking clan sent somebody to see if I'm a bump straight, and I always bump straight. Right? When they bump me left, I bump back left. When they bump me right, I bump back right. When they bump me straight, I
So
bump
is
back
there
straight.
anything you can do to keep going with the Larry Hoover? Anything else that we haven't thought of that we can pursue?
I'm not even trying to think of nothing. I want mama to tear this bitch up so they'll see I ain't bullshitting. They'll get their attention.
And wait.
Now, she don't have to tear this motherfucker up if we see the three kings. It's not necessary. The weather will adjust to the climatic conditions of the season as soon as we see them. But until then, her and her daughter's just gonna rain the most beautiful destruction you motherfuckers ever seen while y'all screaming for mercy, and she ain't gonna have none because y'all already exhausted all of the merciful means. It's not personal. See, people be thinking that it's vindictive, it's evil. How in the fuck is it evil when these motherfuckers got us killing each other? They training our kids how to be pedophiles, draining their blood. Like, me telling the motherfuckers a fraud is weak.
Well, I mean, that's why I was just trying to tell you it's confusing. It was confusing in the beginning because we were trying to keep our eye on who is the enemy. And then when you have somebody like right standing next to you, they're the enemy as well. You didn't know. So it was just, it got really mucky in the end for me. Well, I just had to step back. Like, this is crazy because my energy's been on the motherfuckers that got our shit. They've been playing pedophiles, all of them, watching all the cleanup, making sure that the white hats transition it to the green hats. And who's the green hats? Indigenous people of the land. So we can get to a certain point. Yeah, we getting this there. Yeah, Trump comes back. Yeah, the Republic. That's not our shit though, guys.
Yeah, I don't fuck with no republics, no democracies, all that shit wrong me.
So y'all need to pass that word out. We about halfway there.
All that shit wrong me. All you gotta do is go back. Plato wrote the Republic. Plato wrote the Republic. He was a Greek. The Romans took the Republic and created some shit called a democracy. Right? And they used the artificial democracy to run a hand-picked selection process in your face. They got the people believing they vote.
The party system doesn't work. We've proven it. Somebody in the comments was saying.
Look,
And it's like when one year the next group gets mad and then they send all of their people in, and then it's always an imbalance fighting. So whatever it was, that's not us. And so a lot of us are getting caught up with the patriot movement, the white hat stuff, the Nasara, the digital currency backed in gold shit, but that's still not us. That's not us.
yeah. So in mine said Chief Malik Bay. Chief Malik Angel Bay, the Chicago Red Bull, Larry the Chicago Blue Bull, and I'm the gorilla that's bringing the bulls home. So Big Tukey is the West Coast Bull, the crooked man walking. I done already posted the indigenous tribes in the Dawes Roll. The Dawes Roll still doing the crooked man because they couldn't stop doing it. If we ever wanted to get back on top, when them Dawes Rolls decided that these motherfuckers wrote treaties with them and wasn't going to keep them, they sided with us. So they had to keep the dances going on the land. Even though they didn't have the blood right, they was able to keep the rituals in place. And then later on, they was able to twig in through marriage, right? So they mixed. They from the land and they from the land across the water. They came over here as the workers on the ship, the what they call ship hands, deckhands. Mm-hmm. And the deckhands was the indentures when they hit land. And the indentures was the ones that they signed Osroll contracts with. Now watch how they played us, because it's real subtle. You won't see it if you're not paying attention to their operations. They took the elders out of our community because they wasn't allowed to kill them and put them among strangers in the Dawes Roll so that they can tie back the bloodlines of the indigenous people to the Dawes Roll. In other words, they kidnap your grandmama and they put her in a household full of kids that ain't hers and tell her to raise them. Mm-hmm. Right? Now they miseducating them through an educational system on purpose. But Big Mama telling them the truth of they self, who they is, how they got over here, and they don't know how she know this shit. Because she can't read. So she didn't get it out of a book. But she's telling these motherfuckers where they came from, how they got here. And when they realize these is them ones, we don't want no parts of them motherfuckers that brought us over here, because they got the fake shit. Big Mama right here got the real shit, telling us the real. The largest repository of voodoo knowledge right now is in the hands of a so-called Jewish woman in California. And she takes students. And she got a voodoo textbook she wrote herself based off the rituals she got from Big Mama that taught her. Firsthand. She don't look nothing like us. But she kept that shit alive for us. Madame Blavatsky gave us the theosophy to let us know there ain't no religion higher than the truth, motherfucker. Right? Rudolf Steiner gave us anthroposophy. Right? Anthroposophy is the philosophy of anthropology, which is the study of ancient history. And it's of the sophist order. That's why you got Sophia. It's the ancient history of Sophia. That's Isis unveiled. Tied him right back into Blavatsky. Israel Regardie wrote The Middle Pillar. The middle pillar is about waking your kundalini. Straight up the middle. Bump straight, motherfucker. Because when you get to turning all crooked and shit, the motherfucking kundalini don't want to rise. Bump straight. That's it. Right? Manly P. Hall, master of masters, kept the records, kept them clean, and then put the information in the public domain. He don't look nothing like us. Aleister Crowley, they called him the wickedest man that ever lived. But if you study Thelema and you know who Iwas is, you're going to take another look at him. Franz Bardone don't look nothing like us, but had all Thoth secrets in his motherfucking collection of works. Right? What the fuck is he doing with Thoth information if these motherfuckers is the devil and Thoth is the one that's got to get us out of this motherfucking connection?
They got it, and they a thing called copyright. They want to make some money off our shit.
Here go the problem. One of us get a little bit of knowledge, and our egos make us want to be better than our brothers and sisters. Oh, I know more than you, you an idiot. But they keep thinking us country boys is dumb because we don't have no alphabets behind our name. Whatever Big Mama say do, it's gonna get done. We're gonna figure out how to do it. We're gonna nigger rig the fence to make sure the horses don't get out. Right? We're gonna Jimmy rig the lights to make sure that when the motherfucking power go down, we still got power. We're gonna dig trenches and moats to make sure that the motherfucking predators can't get to Big Mama house.
Some of us are.
I'm talking about her real boys.
I'm just saying some,
you know,
but not all.
Yeah. Well, the ones that's her real baby's
it.
gonna do the work. They don't got no problem doing no work.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. The real gonna show.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is all about the real gonna show.
Mm-hmm. So I don't be hiding. I don't give a fuck. Bring them. They can. You look. If a motherfucker bump straight, they ain't gonna have no problem out of me. As long as they stay crooked, then they gonna start having a problem. Cause I'm gonna start saying something to their ass, and they don't like it the way I say shit to their ass. Right? So when motherfuckers threatening me with voodoo spells, right? How you gonna put a spell, a conjure on the king of the conjure? Make this make sense. The motherfucker that's got all of the magical keys.
They haven't been paying attention because we done been through this. We done had like so many rounds of motherfuckers with doing black magic candle.
Mirror.
They've been doing it and then they work and they still trying it. So it's funny now. Mm-hmm. It's amusing.
Hey, look, I got a clerk at the gate that can say, always say, return to sender. That shit don't belong here. So when the clerk say it don't belong here, it ain't getting in. Mama say it don't belong here, it ain't getting in. Big Mama say kill it, it's dead. You know, so
I did them devil's food cakes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Return to sender.
I'm gonna let somebody in to ask some questions, Rashida.
Yeah, I'm out. So I'm good. So I'm gonna leave. You continue teaching.
Well, I only got a few more minutes before I run out of juice. Let me plug this motherfucker in so I can get a couple questions in.
Plug it in. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. I don't have a full description of the blue rock from the book, but I can tell you from experience, it don't mean what it say.
Okay.
So the blue rock, that's the York Rite, the York Rite Blue Lodge. Remember the War of Roses?
Absolutely, with the Yorks and the Lancasters.
Right. Well, the Yorks, Baba owned that now. He took it over through erudition and ascension. So when he say the blue rock, he's talking about the one that nobody don't know coming off the Blue Yacht Lodge, which is the York Rite. And it is the same if off the Red Lodge, it's the Black Rock. And no matter how you look at it, it's the stone the builders rejected. The stone the builder rejected, we know becomes the chief cornerstone, right?
Okay.
But where do it come from? When you go to Daniel and it talk about the giant with the head of gold and the feet of iron and clay,
right,
and being the Babylonian empires, right?
Right.
And then it say, what was the end of it? A single stone would be hewn from the mountain without the hands of a man, and will roll down the hill and strike the feet of iron and clay. Remember that?
I sure do.
And that brings the whole unholy Roman Empire down. So the iron and clay is the symbolic of America, the great melding pot. You can't meld iron with clay. But what it's talking about is the royal bloodlines mixed with the peasantry. So when we're talking about the stone the builders rejected, besides the biblical reference, where else do you find that stone being hewn from a mountain? That's the story of the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. In India, the Buddha called Sun Wukong Hanuman, which means a handy man, a man that's handy to have around, know a little bit about everything, which brings us to the riddle. A jack of all trades, master of none, is still better than a master of one. So it's saying that the handyman know a little bit of something about a little bit of everything. And then he's going to put it all together so you can see the big picture. So this is what the blue stone is. It's the blue house, the blue lodge. It's the one being trained. And this would bring an end to all of those other nefarious ventures that the lesser beings was using to try to conquer the so-called gods.
Right.
Right. So they put all of these councils and committees together so that they can use multiple individuals' brain power to usurp us. The problem is that ain't gonna work.
Oh, wow. So another question that one of the other sisters had is the knowledge of non-ether is very complicated. Could you give it to them in a more simplistic way? Like what non-ether is, how it works, and how it personified itself as flesh and blood beings in the form of our race, dark-skinned, woolly hair people?
Okay, so when we talk about the non-ether being, look at it like the body. The earth is a living organism, and the non-ether beings is the antibodies. The energy that produces the non-ether being is pure source energy. If it produced more than one of them, it produced what we call the gods, plural. If only one is produced, it's a god, right? So the non-ether beings are the ones who nature used as antibodies to clean up the mishaps of developing humanity. So when we say non-ether, you're talking about the highest spiritual expression, and it comes across as the salt of the earth in the music and the art and varying forms of entertainment. The non-ether is expressed as a right brain, abstract, non-linear reasoning that surpasses logic. The inorganic beings and the hybrids that's here operate off left brain linear logic, and is subjugated to the right brain when they synced.
So isn't that like saying that non-ether is more of the feminine principle than the masculine if it's more right brain? Because the right brain.
So if you want to read about it without using the term non-ether, you would go to India and read about something called Shakti energy.
Okay, I'm familiar with that by studying Hinduism.
Right. So the Shakti energy is the same as the non-ether energy. If you were Egyptologist, you would read about it as Sekhmet energy.
Okay, Sekhmet means power, and it's the feminine of Sekhem.
And the man who is privy to carry the Sekhmet energy is normally going to be volatile if he don't have his self-control developed, what we call he haven't become a master yet. He haven't mastered his lower nature.
Okay, so expound on that a little bit. Like, because what you just said was that the man who carries the Sekhmet, which is the feminine energy, but don't really carry the, or I should say he's not really in tune with the Sekhem, the masculine energy. He said he'll self-destruct.
Right. He becomes tyrannical by nature. It's just natural for him to do it. It's just like giving a baby a nuclear briefcase wide open and don't never tell him he's gonna end the world if he push the button. And you know what the baby gonna do? Slap all the buttons.
He sure is.
So that's all he gonna. That's all it is. When you feel that power, if he haven't conquered his ego, his lower nature, then he becomes subjective to tyrannical use of that higher energy, because one, it's going to drive him to destroy because the system is out of order. But if he haven't conquered his lower nature, he will never know what part of the system to fix. So he just tear everything up.
Oh yeah, he out of order. He definitely out of order.
So we call them, when you look in the human arena in history, we call them despots. We call them tyrannical leaders, psychopathic leaders, rogue kings, stuff like that is in the history when they get that energy and haven't conquered that lower nature.
And
so
what is
we still talking nine ether, we just using it in different schools of thought. In Egypt, Sekhmet, and India is Shakti, right? And the Shakti is activated by the Kriya, which is the fire of the root chakra, right? And it carries all the way up to the crown. Okay, so they say in the Kabbalah is from Malkuth to Kephra. In the Kabbalah, the same energy is called the Ein Sof.
Right, I know about that. I studied the Kabbalah extensively.
Right,
and
so it's the same energy.
Okay, so let's go here with it. In the Holy Tablets, the Master Teacher taught us that non-ether was conscious awareness and conscious moral judgment gases. Can you explain the difference in how that's actually perceived?
Yeah. So as you purify your ego to receive your higher consciousness, right? You got to remember, pure chaos is melanin. Melanin is sentient on its own. It don't need nobody to be sentient. But being utilized along with the other systems of the body, then the non-ether has to